Chapter 20. Sitting at her desk in one of the cubicles, which makes up the social services department, Gloria Melbourne reviews the case file of the bus baby. Although she felt comfortable with her decision to let the Hampton foster the baby, she knows Lily overheard the baby's grandmother when she asked for help to find her. Since the baby was found by her husband, she obviously knows more than she is telling. The police will follow up on that lead. She decides to investigate and see if there is a father in the picture. Officer Maxwell took the original statement by Andy Allwright, so she decides to get a copy from him and check it out. She may have told him who the father is. Now that they have both the baby's and the grandmother's DNA, it'll be easier to verify if they find him. The file is faxed over for Gloria, and she scans it immediately to see if the father is identified. Her clerk joins her to help with the volumes of papers in the report. Elsie, you take this stack, and I'll go through these. Just look for any mention of who the baby's father could be. Do you want me to highlight pertinent references? Yes, thank you. That'll save me from having to plow through all the paragraphs that aren't relevant. By the time they finished, it was the lunch hour. Let's let this sit a while we go to lunch, and I'll decide what to do next. Sounds like a plan, says Elsie as she shrugs on her jacket. A thorough review of the file leaves Gloria perplexed as to how she can locate the father. No one is named in the report, but it is obvious it could be someone who hangs around the rundown district where the mother spent her last year. The red light section of the town is repulsive to Gloria, but she is determined to do her job. I'll just have to go down there, Elsie, and interview the locals. Will you go with me? I don't feel comfortable doing this alone. Sure, I'll go. Do I need to pack a gun? You're kidding, aren't you? Yeah, I'm kidding. Don't be scared. We can take an officer with us if you're really worried. Good idea, I'll talk to Maxwell. He'll give us some protection. Driving slowly through the Tenderloin district brings stares and people nonchalantly evaporating from the sidewalk as if their secret world was about to be invaded. Boy, everyone down here sure has a guilty conscience. Do you think we can find anyone willing to talk to us? Asked Elsie. Doesn't look good, does it? Wait a minute. That lady standing in the foyer of the liquor store doesn't seem scared of us. Let's see if she'll talk. Hi, miss. Oh, don't worry. We're not here to hassle you. We just want to ask a few questions. The sidewalk, flowered, decked out in psychedelic leotards and platform heels. Looks over them and says, sure. Call me Dixie. What's the deal? I ain't talking for nothing. Her uneasy glance down the street reminds Gloria of the bodyguard who is shadowing them. Don't worry about him. He's with us. I suppose we could contribute a little to your portfolio if you can give us some information. How much? All I got on me is $100. Will that do for you? Depends on what you want to know. There's a young girl living on these streets this past year by the name of Harry Talstead. Any chance you know her? She died of an overdose and left a baby girl for us to deal with. We know her grandmother was, but she was killed this weekend, so the baby has no legal guardian. We're looking for the father. Does any of this ring a bell for you? Well, maybe it does. I was friends with her until she took up with that no-account Rudy Elwood. A real loser, by anybody's standards. He hangs out at the shelter on Adams Street where the weather gets cold. Never worked a day in his life and probably won't live to be 30. He's strung out most of the time. I sure hope he's not the little one's dad. He'd never be a dad or even want to be. Can you give us a description of him? We want to try to find him if we can. We at least need to get him to relinquish his rights if he is the father. We can't put her up for adoption if he doesn't agree. Oh, he'll agree. He'll be scared to death if you try to get him to pay child support. He's about 5'8", sandy hair, rings in everything but his underwear, and is decorated with all sorts of strange-looking tattoos. Like I said, a real loser. Thanks, miss. And you did earn this money. That was easier than usual way you make a buck, right? The blank look on her face tells him She doesn't know what they're talking about. Let's go over to the shelter and see if we can spot him. Surely someone knows him, even if he's not there at the moment. You sure you want to go into the district? It's even worse than this one, says Elsie. Don't be such a chicken. Anyways, we have Bruiser over there keeping an eye on us. They heard their little nondescript import through the slums of the city, finally reaching a shabby building with the unlikely name of the Ritz. The sidewalk and foyer is decorated with the downtrodden and spaced-out occupants left behind by society and circumstances. Wow, this neighborhood is a dream's graveyard, Gloria says with sadness in her voice. Her life's work had been to keep people from reaching this point, and it disturbs her to think she could have done more. Hey, check out that discarded Christmas tree laying on the lamppost. Elsie points to the far side of the building. He fits the description Dixie gave us. Rings in every part, big enough to pierce. With a nice chalant stroll, they move casually through the Stonehenge figures tilted against the wall, and pause as they reach their objective. Hi, we're new around here, and wonder if you could help us. Gloria thinks to herself, we don't want them to come alive and scatter like a flock of quail with a hawk after. Oh yeah, what business do you two have around here? You down here slumming or spying? Actually, we're looking for Rudy Elwood. You wouldn't happen to know him, would you? Throwing his hands in the air as if to stop traffic, he says, Hold on there. What do you want with him? I can tell you that. I can't tell you that. I can only speak to Mr. Elwood. Private business, you know. Is he in trouble? Nothing like that. It pertains to an inheritance he has coming. If he can prove his identity, he could be in a surprise for his life. Can you tell us where we can find him? I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll see if I can round him up and have him meet you right here in an hour, okay? The ragtag, strung-out character tosses empty beer can toward the refuge can on the corner and staggers his way into the shelter. Elsie, did you see that? He left us his DNA, and we don't even have to touch his creepy character. I have an empty baggie in my purse so we can preserve the evidence. Let's hurry so we can get out of here. The drive back to the police station goes quickly, since the traffic is light this time of day. As they approach the parking lot, Gloria motions Bruiser that his job is done and gives him the thumbs up. Excitement pushes them into a quick staccato click, click, click of the high heels on the tile floor. Hey ladies, how did you make out? Find out anything down there in the bowels of the sea? Asked Max. We sure did. We got the name of the possible father of the baby. Not only that, we may have his DNA. He tossed a beer can towards the refuge can. And missed, of course, leaving it there for us to collect. You can get DNA off of it, can't you? Yes, of course. Good work, ladies. I'll take it to the lab. Let you know if it matches the baby's DNA. I'll call you. And thanks. No problem. We want to help any way we can, says Gloria. I got an anonymous phone call this morning, says Max, from some man who said he recognized the murder lady in the paper. He said he was on the bus downtown a couple of weeks ago and saw the lady sitting in the back talking to the bus driver. He didn't know what they were talking about, but the lady was very upset. He thought we should know about it. That's interesting. Do you think it was Mr. Hampton? I can't say one way or the other, but he and his wife are supposed to come in tomorrow. And you can't be sure. I'll find out.